Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here, back with our Dragon's Tarkir limited set review. We're going to continue with all the black cards today, and we're going to go through every single one with a focus on the upcoming sealed pre-release, so not so much on draft. But I'm going to give you my initial thoughts on the cards, and you guys can let me know what you guys think as well down below in the comments section. I also have the top 10 EDH Commander cards from Dragon's Tarkir coming to you in the next day or so stay tuned for that. That'll be super exciting. Let's jump right in with Acid Spewer Dragon. This cycle I haven't loved. The Hexproof one I think is the most value in terms of seeing play. I think if you're investing 6 in a 3/3 flying Death Touch is not that great, to be honest. I mean, you're still sinking the 6 mana, even if it acts as a removal spell, which it may or may not. It still seems like a lot, and I don't really love this cycle. On the whole, it seems very expensive. Ambuscade Shaman seems very good for aggro decks. I like that you can dash it 4 for a 4/4, or you can dash it, or you can play it, and then it's whenever a creature enters the control, it gets 2/2, so it gives a long-term value to aggro decks. Seems very strong. Bloodshin Fanatic, huge for Warrior Tribal. It can swing games. It's even if it had no abilities, 3 for a 3/3 would be good. The fact that it has this great sack ability, you can sacrifice your warriors into additional life gain, life loss, seems very powerful. Bloodshin Rager is a warrior, which is nice. 2 for a 2/2 would be fine. The fact that whenever it attacks, it makes your warriors pseudo unblockable is even better. Butcher's Glee, this card and Coat with Venom both are combat tricks. To be honest, Butcher's Glee seems a little bit more expensive, but it does regenerate the creature. So the 3/0 power tends to give you a little bit more of a boost if you're trying to win via aggro. Coat with Venom is a it's effectively removal, because the 1/2 doesn't really matter in terms of power toughness. It's more just being able to death touch them for 1 mana, acts as a removal spell. So both of them are okay. They're fine as combat tricks. Corpse Weft I really don't like. I think it's too much of an investment of your grave into 1 or so creatures, and spending 3 mana just to cast the enchantment, 2 mana, and then having to exile seems a lot of work. I don't think it's great. I mean, the main goal of it I could see is probably for exploit. You do 2, make a 1/1, and then you could do that multiple times as exploit targets. But it seems since you're dropping it probably turn 3 and then having to wait till turn 4 or beyond to do it, doesn't seem great for most of the limited decks. Maybe I doesn't get there for me. Denwell Pact seems very strong. Again, it's removal and card draw in 1. So if you have the life to expend, you can get the card draw you need, or you can finish your opponent off. Seems very flexible removal. Deadly Wanderings is way too much mana as an investment for something that may or may not happen. Deathwind is good. I like that you'll probably end up doing it 4x, 4 for the X, and then 1 you'll end up with 5 to give 4/4. That's pretty much the best scenario for this, which is why there's another removal that's basically the same thing. I think this one's better because it's scalable, and the format is more mid-rangey than not because of how many big creatures there are. Deathbringer Region is a big flying creature, which is awesome, and then the fact that if you meet its requirements, you basically win the game. I mean, it's very, very powerful card for limited. Defeat is a little narrow, but in this format I think will be very powerful, especially given how many large creatures or creatures that have Megamorph, which could be potential threats, are going to start off in the Morph zone. It destroys Morphs that much more effectively, and Morphs can be that much scarier this time, so probably a sideboard card against non-Morph decks, but if you see your opponent's running lots of Morphs, definitely put in 1 or 2. Duress is a good card. I don't know how good it is in Sealed. I'm not thinking a lot. It's not nearly as good as it would be in a more constructed environment. Dutiful Attendant is a good exploit target. I like that it's not horribly expensive, and it gets you a card back in your hand, which you'd probably pay 2 to 3 mana anyway to do as a spell. The fact that it's a warrior and lets you exploit, very good to me. Flatten, here we go. This one, instead of being scalable, this one's a flat 4 mana, but it gets 4/4. They're both good removal, and they hit a good number of dragons as well, which is nice. Foul Renewal, I thought it gets it to play. It doesn't get it to play, which means it's much worse than I thought, but it is pseudo removal and return. Seems flexible and good for limited. Foul Tongue Invocation, 3 to sack a creature. It's good removal, we've seen it in the past. I like it as an additional 4 life gain. Foul Tongue Shriek, we don't have a lot of tokens going on here, so it'll probably end up being a 3 to 4 swing for 1, which isn't great. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not great. It's definitely not better. Maybe it's average. Maybe a little lower. I think it's probably lower than average in this environment. Grave Purge, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, it's good. It's good late game if you're running a creature heavy deck because it lets you get back from your grave, which is important, and it gives you card draw. So maybe a one of, but I wouldn't run more than that. Hand of Slumgar, small guys with Death Touch seem to work very well, and the fact that it's a warrior makes it even better. There's a good amount of warriors. If you have a warrior theme running, he's a very good curve filler. Hedonist Trove is much more powerful in things like Commander. It may work out well here, but I'm not expecting it to do work. It'll be more of one of those, a trick, I think, more of anything. Colligan Skirmisher, warrior that has dash, 2 for 2/2 seems good. Meringue River Skeleton is okay. I mean, there's a lot of flyers in the set, so it's not nearly as good. Marsh Hulk, I don't like very much. It's just bland and doesn't really do that much for you. Its cost. Mind Rot is fine. This kind of card always exists. I don't think it's that big a deal, especially when the grave is a viable target in this format. Minister of Pain seems okay. I wish we had more tokens in the format, but 3 for a 2/3 with nothing else would be fine. And this card has better than that. Pitiless Horde, strong attacker. Yeah, you can lose life, but having a 5/3 hitting that early in the game seems pretty scary. Karasi's Sadist is pretty decent, I guess. It's not great. It's not a great card, to be honest. Unlike Rakshasa Gravecaller, which I like better because a 3/6 for 5 is good, and then being able to sack a small creature into 2/2/2s seems very good. They don't even hit play tapped. Reckless Imp, I like the 2 for a 2/2 flyer at dash, seems very good. Risen Executioner, if you somehow make tribal work, great. But it is, in and of itself, it's not a bad card. 4 for a 4/3 is well costed, and then the fact that it can be cheaper, effectively. Well, you can recast it from the grave. That gives it recurring, and in this format, in constructed, well, not constructed, in sealed, this kind of thing is very good. Self-Inflicted Wound is a sideboard card. Shambling Goblin is an okay 1/1. I'm not a fan of it. Sibsig Icebreakers is fine. It's a 2/3 that's evenly split. I think it's fine. CDC is amazing. Definitely make sure to run her. Slumgar's Assassin is amazing. Make sure to run him as well. Slumgar's Butcher I like, even if it's a little bit expensive, but the exploit is a removal, and I think it will more likely than not in a deck. If you can make use of it, it'll be very good. Akud Cobra is not great. It's maybe average. Ultimate Price is very good, although there's a lot of multicolors, so be careful how many of them you have in the deck and how many you sideboard and so on. Virulent Plague I think would be better if there were more tokens, but there aren't, so it's not great. Vulturous Aven is amazing. A good flyer, well costed, that lets you exploit to draw cards. Seems very good. And Wandering Tomb Shell is a worse version of Akud Cobra, so not a fan. Anyway, black overall looks pretty strong to me. What do you guys think about it? Definitely let me know down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, then tap the like button and stay tuned for our next color, which is red. So I hope to get to that soon. And if you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe. As always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.